Nice to see you again, Victor. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing good.
That's good.
So, how have you been since our last session?
I've been doing better. I've been going on vacation, so I've been able to leave the office and not really think about um, the job per se and concentrate on just doing my own thing and spending time with my family and just getting a little bit stress off my shoulders.
Okay. So, the last time you visited, we did discuss the stress that you have at your job. Do you still have that stress, or how has things been since our last session?
Well, since the last session, I definitely took my vacation to get away from the job so I can be, a little bit less stressed. But even leaving on vacation, I tended to keep thinking about the job kind of on and off just because I knew when I came back from vacation, I had so much more. I knew that there was going to be so much more that I had to do.
Mhm.
So, in a way, it was a good time to, just unwind and like be stressful. And then, but coming back, I was like, let's see what I have to do. And then I had to, come back to a whole bunch of stuff that wasn't completed but when I left. So it was still good.
Okay. So, you mentioned that when you were on vacation, you tried to leave work at work and enjoy your vacation, but at some time, you did think about it.
Hmm.
Um, Tell me a little bit about, you know, you not being able to separate the two.
Well, I mean, I knew I had the strong mindset to separate it, but I guess as the vacation came down towards the end, I started thinking about it because I knew that, I knew I was coming back home to the job anyway. So I knew I had to start thinking about all the possibilities of what could have been going on with my cases, what could have been going on with the job in general. So that's why I started thinking about it as the trip, came closer to its end. But other than that, I didn't let it get to me, and I still enjoyed myself. I still had, great time. And I guess also knowing that I was far away from the job,
Mhm.
made me also secure that, I can think about it, but I'm not going to do anything for it because I'm far away and yeah, I didn't bring any of my equipment to do work. So that was good.
Okay. So it just seems like in the beginning of your vacation, you were able to separate, job and your vacation. But when
Yeah,
it came close to getting back or returning to work,
that's when I
that's
started thinking
when you
about it
started
again.
thinking about and started stressing a little bit about things that you had to do.
Yeah, correct.
I remember in our last session, you did discuss that your unit didn't have enough people. Has that changed since the last time we talked?
Yeah, we have one new girl now that's on our unit and she just finished her training. So, even though she's still in her probationary period and she has, I think, about 3 cases, once she's finished her probationary period, then she'll be able to get more cases and take off, some of the loads off of, my other people on our unit that have too many kids,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll be able to work together with her to, transition her to the cases and tell her about what's going on in the cases and stuff like that, so she's not going into it completely lost. But having her there definitely has helped because when she's not doing anything, she's able to help us with transports, help us supervise visits, pick up kids, go see kids for us. So it is a good thing to have her so far. She's been helping us out a lot.
Okay. So that sounds like that's a good addition to your team.
Yeah, she is.
So since she's been on the team, has your stress level increased or decreased?
Um, my stress level has actually been decreasing. I've caught up with my work and been able to finally like do things on an as needed basis when I need to get them done. And I don't find myself rushing to, finish something real quick and then go on to the next thing. I found myself actually being able to, complete one thing that I need to get done and actually just sit there, take a break, ask anybody if they need anything, and then go from there like that. And plus, there haven't been that much unnecessary meetings that we had to go through. So having more time to go see our kids and go like that, I've been able to, make sure my work is done on
Okay.
time.
Okay, so it seems to me that you're not stressing as much as you were before the last time we spoke because you do have additional help.
Hmm.
Um, do you feel that getting more help, besides the new employee that was just hired, will decrease your stress level even more?
I mean, I think the whole job just needs like new help all around. But for right now, we have our own transport lady who, makes sure she picks up our kids for us when she can, and
Mhm.
we all work together as a unit to know about like which kids she's gonna pick up for us and when do we have to pick up with her, just in case there's two plus kids that she can't pick them all up together. But that has definitely helped out a lot, especially with her being able to supervise the visits.
Mhm.
She's helped us out a lot with that too. So while she's with the visits, we just know that, the kids are with having their visit with their parents, and we could still sit back and finish the rest of our work that we need to do. So that helps a lot too.
Okay, that's good. So it sounds like it's working out for you and your team a little
Hmm.
bit more than it was before.
Right.
I know that you mentioned before about um, getting support from like your director and your
Supervisor.
supervisor. Has that changed since we last spoke?
Well, we had a big a big like team meeting with the whole agency, and a lot of my other coworkers were also on the same page with me when they talked about what can they do more to help us, and we pretty much let them know that we need more support staff, more people to help us with transports, and more not so more of like all the work being put on us as case managers. We already have to do everything, but like little things like uploading medical history or uploading, like other important documents that get sent to us. Why can't the people that just send it to us upload it for us?
Mhm.
Like, why do we have to go and then and that adds just another checklist on our name that we have to do, and it's like, and then we get in trouble and penalized when we don't do it. But the person that's sending it to us has access to those files for those kids, and they could be the ones doing it, but they still send it to us because we have to do it, and that then we get in trouble when it's not in their file.
Okay,
Like, yeah,
so basically, on top of the huge list of things that you have to do, there's more things that's being added.
correct.
And there's not really a person that's specified to help you with that. You're just the major person that's responsible.
Hmm. Yeah, because everything always falls on us, case management.
Okay. So with you guys expressing your feelings about this matter to the director or your supervisors, has that changed? Have they provided any form of support in helping you,
Uh,
with the task that's on your list?
well, so far all they did was send out an email saying that they were looking into everything that we spoke about in the meeting, but for right now, I haven't really seen a big change. Besides having our own transport person assigned to us, that's
Hmm.
probably the only big change that I've seen as of right now.
Okay. So not really much of a change as of yet. Do
Mm-mm.
you think that there will be a change soon or in the future?
I mean, I see it in the future, but it's going to be a long in the future because they always say that they're going to change things, and it takes them so long to actually implement it. So we can
Okay.
only wait and see.
Okay.
Oh.
I know in our prior session we also discussed if the company had any type of programs or anything or anyone that you can talk to about your stress level or if anything is bothering you or if you're just, you just had enough.
Mhm.
Has that changed any? Are there any support groups or is just how it was like you stated before, you just talk to your coworkers or your supervisor, but other
Oh
than
no,
that,
I think it's still been the same. Or I know we can use. I know there's like an emotional leave that we can have
hmm
that we can use as employees, but that's pretty much it. There's really you can vent to your supervisor and they can only do but so much and like help you out as best as they can, and your coworkers too. That's all you really can rely on there, especially in your team. But other than that, that's pretty much it. There's really no just personal counselors just for us. Everything just has to do with the kids.
Okay. Have you advocated for counselors for yourselves to your directors, supervisors?
No, I haven't, but I just feel like I still talk to my supervisor or
Mm-hmm.
my coworkers, and they pretty much help out enough for me to just, as long as I'm able to vent and let it out, then I feel fine talking to them as well.
Okay, so it seems like you have that support. It may not
Mm-hmm.
be an actual counselor
Yeah,
that's, there waiting for you when you need them, but you still have that support with your, coworkers who may feel the same way as you because you all have the same, task and deadlines to meet.
right,
Okay.
correct.
Um, I remember in our last session you did discuss that your supervisor was new. So it was a lot of things that she didn't really know. So that was also a burden on you as well. Has
Mhm.
that changed a little?
I just feel as though now, at this state, she's gotten better with how she manages the team.
Hmm.
So it's more. I'm not saying it's more of a friendship type level with the team, but she's learned how to. I guess she's really learned how to manage her time as well, being a supervisor and managing us the correct way, and not just trying to micromanage. Because I know it was a lot of stress on her as well coming into a new position. But she's very open. Her door's always open. Whenever we're in trouble or we need help, she's always quick to and willing to, step out of the box and help us with it, whether it come be picking up kids, watching kids for us real quick, and all that stuff. So she's definitely another person that has helped out with the stress, and she also is the type of person that asks us every day how are we doing, or like she'll know that she has to tell us something and add more to us, but she'll let us know, hey, you need to do this, but don't do it right now, like just try to get it to me by the end of the day or tomorrow early morning, like that's when I need it. And if she doesn't make you do it right then and there while you have everything else to do, she actually takes in consideration how much other work that we have to do, because she was in our spot one day. I mean, she was in our spot like the last whenever she was a lead or case manager. So she knows what we had to go through.
Okay. So I remember you mentioning that the director or the CEO, people that's higher than your position, don't really understand um, what you go through because they don't do the work that you do.
Correct.
But with your supervisor, she's still new, but she understands, a lot what you
Hmm.
have to do and the stress that you have and the deadlines that you have to meet. So it just seems like she doesn't bombard you as far as with new tasks. She will let you know, but she won't rush you as far as I need it like right now.
Right. Yeah, because she knows how hard it is to get some certain documents that the court may need right away, and she knows how some of the parents can be when they don't want to answer your phone calls or talk to you. So she lets us know, she's like, hey, let's try, and sometimes she even says, I'll try for you too, and she'll pick up the phone and try calling some of my parents because they're not answering me and they don't want to talk to me.
Hmm.
And sometimes she even helps me deal with some of my hard parents that that are just, they just feel like I'm always picking on them, but in the long run, she lets them know, hey, I'm not picking on them. I'm actually doing my job, and that's why she calls them for me, because she lets them know that just to let them know from the beginning that I am doing my job and this is what I have to do
Hmm.
for them, because they just don't understand that we do everything for them, and they think that they're being attacked every time.
Okay. So it seems like you are getting that support from your supervisor
Mhm.
now that you weren't getting before
Right.
in the last session that we discussed. Um, it also seems that because you have a new employee, that the stress has decreased a little. I mean, the stress is still there. It will probably
Yeah.
always be there.
Hmm.
Um, in your line of work, but it has definitely decreased.
Correct.
I know we previously discussed your conflicts and stress with your parents. I know overall you have stress, but when it comes to the parents that's on your caseload, it's just even a more difficult thing. How has that been since the last time we met?
Well, with some of them, it's gotten better, but with that saying, there's this one individual that just causes so much problems and so much like tension when, I try to do everything that I can to make sure she sees her kids, and she's constantly canceling her visits with them. And then as soon as she cancels, she'll write to me the next day and she's like, "Oh, well, remember, we better make up those hours that I missed with my kids yesterday." And then she'll try to say that I canceled them when she's the one that canceled them. And it's like, I even worked with my transport lady who was willing to, you know, have a visit with her for 6 hours, and she canceled that one to say, and she never has her story straight. One, she'll tell her that she was all the way on the east side like of the city, and then she'll tell me that she was in the hospital. So it's like, which one is it? And then there's sometimes that she'll call and it sounds like she was sleeping, but she's running late and then she cancels. So it's like, what's your story? Do you want to see your kids or not? Because then she's the first one that shows up to court and says, I haven't seen my kids in a month or blah, blah, blah. Because I know that's what she's going to do. And that just makes me look bad, because then the judge is going to ask, well, why? And then if I say, well, I'm just going to make sure I have all my P's and Q's together, have all my, canceled visits, and let the judge know she has not been there. And I'm trying even to get the therapist to be there, because she has her therapy sessions, with her therapist right before her kids, and she's been canceling with her therapist too, giving her excuses that she's in the hospital too, or that she's sick. So it's like, I'm not the one that's lying. I'm not lying. So I'm ready to, like, that's just one case that I want to hurry up and try to close, and not more so for the kids, but because of that parent. She's been making it very difficult for me, especially in the job. And my supervisor has helped me a lot with her when it comes to, as far as talking to her and my other coworkers as well. Sometimes I found myself begging my coworkers to like supervise a visit for me, just because I don't want to get into it with her, or like to talk to her for me, because she gets real nasty, and I don't want to lose my job, pretty much. Like, I don't want to like lash out at her because I'm so stressed out by her.
Right.
So my supervisor usually just handles it, or the transport lady.
Okay. So overall, it seems like your parent conflict has decreased as well. I mean, it's gotten better, but with this particular person is just not working out.
She's never gonna change, and she always has an excuse as to why she does things. But you ask her for the documentation, and she can't even give it to you.
Okay. You mentioned that she cancels visits, but then she turns it around on you and say that you were the one that canceled the visit. Is there no way that you have documentation to prove this, that
I document. Canceled? Yeah, every time she cancels, I put it into their file.
Okay. But you mentioned when you go into court, she tries to blame you. Do you get in trouble for that, or even though you have documentation?
Yeah, not more say I get in trouble, but I get questioned as to why it was canceled and all that stuff, and even explaining it to the judge. In the law, they always say, well, kids need to see their parents, blah, blah, blah. That's fine. I'm all about that. But for a mother to she's been canceling for almost over a month now, and she's never been able to provide documentation that why she canceled, or for being in the hospital, like she says. She's never been able to provide information as to where she's been. She always gives people, two different answers. I said, and especially this time, she told transport lady one thing, that she was walking to the office and then turned around and left because she wasn't going to make it. She told me that she was in her counseling session, and then she told her counselor that she was in the hospital. So it's like,
she's telling,
where's your story? Yeah, I'm like, where's your story? So, when court comes up again, I am going to address that with the judge, and I am trying to get I am going to talk to my supervisor to try to get therapists to be there
Mhm.
to attest to that, and my transport my transport lady to be there as well, so they can vouch for me also, so I don't feel like I'm just being personally attacked for
Right.
this lady, because she's very vindictive, and she's an actress. Like, she knows who to talk to in what way,
Mhm.
and then behind closed doors she talks to me another way, and it's like, cool.
Okay. So that's about the time that we have today. Just a short recap. Your stress level has decreased. You have a new employee who is taking on some of your caseload, so that's much of a help to you.
Yeah.
Your supervisor also has been a great help since the last time we discussed.
Correct.
And overall, the company is trying to bring in
They're trying to bring in more workers.
And
they
new
want
programs,
right.
but it's in the works right now.
Yeah, I know they've been going through a lot of new hiree process as well.
Mhm.
So, hopefully those people get to start soon too, because then it'll help out other units
Right.
and make it run smoothly.
Okay. So is there anything else you want to discuss before we end today's session?
No.
Okay.
Oh well.
It was nice seeing you.
Good seeing you too. Thank you.